Welcome! It has been a while since I've recorded audio for a video, so apologies if it's kind of bad today. But today I'm going to be updating my stan list. The last stan list video I made was in, I think, February of last year, so we're definitely in need of an update. So that's what we're doing today. I hope you enjoy! The day BTS leaves the Ults section of my stan list will truly be a historic day. I mean, this group means so much to me, from being the first K-pop group that I stand, to having an absolute blast being an ARMY, to having absolutely amazing music. I really love these boys so much. I got into them during Dynamite era in 2020, and my bias is Jimin. He is the love of my life and my ult of ults. My favourite song is Microcosmos, but they have such a great and varied discography that no matter what your favourite type of music is, BTS will have at least one song in that style. They truly are one of the most versatile groups that I know, and I wholeheartedly believe that there is at least one BTS song for everyone. Now, as you may or may not know, BTS are on somewhat of a hiatus at the moment, and I'm not gonna lie, when it was first announced, I was scared their standing in my stan list could drop. But I am happy to say that with the constant solo releases, I have stayed well fed, and they are keeping the title of my favourite group. Indigo, Golden and Face have been my favourite of the solo releases, and I can't wait to see what else comes out of Chapter 2. But all in all, BTS have such a special place in my heart, and I can't imagine them not being my number one group. So Boynextdoor are a new addition to my stan list, but not really, since they've been on here for well over a year. I just haven't made an updated stan list video in ages. But yeah, I love them. I've made a few videos on how I think they're so fun and refreshing, and that still holds true. They have such a strong musical identity, and the members are so talented and funny. I love watching their content, especially since all of my other ults and semi-ults either don't release content or are inactive. I'm a pre-debut wonder. I saw that initial logo teaser and I was hooked. Like, the promise of their debut was the only thing keeping me into K-pop in April 2023. My bias is Jaehyun, who is a nutter, but I love him for that. And as for my favourite song, I could give you one, but it would probably change in the time it takes just to upload this video. I love their discography so much, and I especially love the storyline that can be followed through their music. I think that's super fun and unique. And it speaks to the theatre kid in me. Someone could so easily make a little musical out of their discography. I love Boynextdoor, and I'm so proud of how they're doing, and I have a feeling they're going to go on to become quite a big deal. Because after all, it's only a matter of time before a video of Myung Jaehyun makes its way onto your TikTok For You page and turns you into a wonder. It's a canon event. I'm sorry. Although Astro are one of my ults, and I don't see them properly slipping out of this category anytime soon, I'm just not quite as obsessed with them as I was, say, a year ago. I've worked my way through their entire discography and almost all of their content, so I'm just running out of Astro stuff to be obsessed with. I still love them so much, and I go absolutely mental whenever I see the members hanging out together or whenever any of them release music, but it's just so far and few between nowadays. And don't get me wrong, I completely understand why, and I want them to take as much of a break as they need. And I know that if or when they do come back, it will feel really weird. I just miss them. They have such cute and fun music, and honestly some of the funniest content of any K-pop group. Their ability to turn any situation into an improv scenario is truly impressive, and that's why they'll always be my ults. I first got into Astro in 2021 when After Midnight was my favourite song of the year, but I didn't properly stan them until a year later when I saw that Pool Astro play that every baby Aurora watches. Jinjin is my bias and the other 5 are my wreckers. But yeah, I love Astro, and I really do hope they can come back one day. I got into Lucy in early 2021 after I saw a video of someone recommending their music, and one song is my bias. I love the bass and him. My favourite song is Flowering, which is also my favourite song of all time, but the main reason Lucy are one of my ults is that they have the most beautiful and meaningful discographies as a whole. When I was in a really bad place in 2021 and 22, Lucy's discography was sometimes one of the only things that would make me feel better. Their music is so beautiful, from the signature strings and gang vocals to the general composition. Everything is truly top tier. Although I rarely interact with Lucy outside of their music and basic social media, they truly mean the world to me, and I will forever remain grateful for their music. And I'm really going to need them to do some concerts in Europe. As I've mentioned in previous videos, stanning Pentagon is a nightmare, and actually kind of stressful. However, I will always have them on my stan list because they have one of my favourite discographies of all time. People who watch my channel will know I have a checklist of things that a song can have to make me love it, which includes gang vocals, whistling, outstanding vocal performances, and just being a little bit silly. These are all things Pentagon does on the regular, so of course I love their music. You can probably guess my favourite song. It's Naughty Boy, the song I've been using for both my intro and outro for almost 3 years. And despite what my profile picture may lead you to believe, my bias is not actually U2. It's Changu. I just really like that picture of U2. But yeah, standing Pentagon is rough, but their music more than makes up for it. TXT are a weird group for me. I love them so much, but I can really feel myself drifting from them. They have amazing music, and I love that they change their sound every comeback. I love the members, they have such a cute and special bond, and I have a big fat crush on Yeonjun, who is also my bias. But despite all of the things that make me love them, I don't have the same level of interest in them as I did a couple years ago, which is why I've dropped them from the Ults category on my stan list. I think there's a few reasons for this, such as the increased number of fan wars that MOAs seem to be into, as well as getting increasingly annoyed that Europe continually gets ignored for concerts and events, but that's more of a criticism of HYBE in all of their groups. But perhaps I'm simply just moving on, growing out of TXT. I say all this, but I still love them. They're still in my semi-ults, but I'm just sad to see them drop down the ranking because 2 years ago I was obsessed with these boys almost to the same degree as BTS. I'll always love them though, and their music is too good to let them completely drop off my stan list at all. And here's another artist that is a nightmare to stan. But I'm not going to go into that today. Instead, I want to talk about how good his music is. He obviously has a very pretty voice, and he's also super skilled vocally, which makes any song he releases nice to listen to. But on top of that, he can pump out some pretty awesome music. His album, The Moment Bounce, is one of my favourite albums, and I had it on loop for all of September last year. His songs tend to be quite generic pop songs, but they all speak to me, and I can't quite put my finger on why. It could be the tight production, the fun instrumentals, or just his gorgeous voice. But either way, I love his discography. He still doesn't have that much music, but with him moving to a new company, I'm hoping that will change, because I can't wait to hear more from Woojin.
Congratulations, you're finally leaving.
Eric has always had a low-level presence on my stan list since I got really obsessed with After School Club at the end of 2020. But after seeing him in my hometown Glasgow, he's gone comfortably into semi-ults. As I said earlier, I've been getting increasingly more frustrated at the lack of Europe dates on most K-pop tours, and for Eric to come to not just the UK, but to Scotland, that made me so unbelievably happy. However, he's not just on my stan list because he's done concerts in Glasgow. I also really love his personality and music. He's so funny, and the number of iconic memes he has behind him speaks for itself. But in terms of his music, I really love his lyricism. I don't normally listen to or care about lyrics, but he has some really good ones, and I love listening to his discography to try and pick up cool little lyrics. My favourite is from One Way Lover, which is also my favourite song by him. It's, "Why do you need to see my heart in your hands? Don't you believe I might hold yours instead?" I just love that one. But yeah, Eric's music isn't anything that special, but I really do love it, and I'll always be grateful that he comes to Scotland on his tours. And that's it for this video. I tried to trim down my stan list a lot from last year because there were a lot of people on there that I barely keep up with, so I think this one's a lot more representative and accurate. But that will be all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know who your ults are down below. Until next time!